and welcome to another episode of How Are You Holding Up? A mental health podcast by the depressed for the depressed. I'm Lindsey.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to talk about a really fun topic. And it's going to be mostly about Chris.
Yay!
But let's just start with how are you holding up today after the holidays and everything?
So, holidays were nice. I did a full day of cooking, which I enjoy immensely. I cooked many things. I roasted a duck. I did mashed potatoes. I did stuffing. I did mac and cheese. You know, just
That's yummy.
bunch of carbs. And I enjoyed that. I had a couple Friendsgiving things. I went to a Lord of the Rings marathon yesterday, which ended up leaving early because there was a snafu on Return of the King, because they were playing the not extended edition, which had been advertised, and then they were like, well, okay, so we've got a backup, which is the Blu-ray
Oh no.
of the extended edition, so we can play that. And we were all like, nah, we're going bounce.
Everybody left.
We were like, yeah, we can watch the Blu-ray at home. We have that. I have it right here. Like, it's not even at that point, whatever. So, and also we would have gotten out at like 3 a.m.
Oh Lord.
So, yeah, it was a lot of nope on that one. Apart from that, though, how I'm really holding up, we can probably get to in the middle of the episode. But Lindsey, how are you holding up?
I'm doing okay. I had a couple really rough spots during Thanksgiving, and like the lead up or the day before. But I took some time to be alone and to cry.
Yeah.
And have a pep talk from my boyfriend. And I noticed that I fell back into some really negative self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
I know that some of my family members don't... I get used as the example of what not to do, which is really painful because I feel like I've made a lot of progress in my life. But I'm she didn't finish college, and you don't want to end up like this person. Of course, one of the reasons I didn't finish college was because I got thrown into college right after really horribly abusive couple years of my life with some family members. And it was detrimental to my development. And I went in a toxic relationship. I was just starting to get agoraphobia. And then it got even worse in my second year, where every time I left the house, I would have I couldn't drive. I started having a panic attack so bad that I would have to pull over, or I felt like I was going to pass out.
Yeah.
So, but I get blamed for that. So being home can be very hard and embarrassing. A lot of, I'm sure you all experience this to some extent, where 1 or 2 or 3 even family members will have little negative comments that kind of put you down a little bit or make fun of you, or so after a while that can really build up. And then the negative self-talk of I'm just a piece of shit, I'm just a nobody, I should fucking kill myself, I'm so fucking fat, I'm so fucking ugly, I'm so fucking useless, why am I even here, why did I even come home, that all came back in a tidal wave for me. Mm-hmm. And so I had to separate myself from the group and work through that. And I'm sharing that because I'm sure that some of you might have experienced something on that level. So no matter where you are in your growth or healing, that is a really easy thing to slip back into, especially if you're in the home where you got sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toxic environments breed toxic thoughts. That's how it works.
And it's hard watching a younger sibling start to grapple with some of that and come to the realization of certain unhealthy things that are being put upon her as well. So
yeah, no, I can imagine that if anything, younger siblings see what has become of the older sibling, and if they're told, like, this is an example of who you don't want to be, but they look up to that sibling, or they see that sibling as somebody who understands what they're going through, it can be horrifically challenging.
It's challenging, it's confusing, it's painful, and it's And it's hard to be like, listen, I've tried going to therapy with this person. It didn't really work out for me. It could work out for you. You are always welcome to try. But just know that this might be something you can't handle on your own because,
Yeah.
you can't change it. I was like, all you can do is change your reaction to what they're doing or what they're saying, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So this episode is kind of a check-in update with myself and my medication situation.
If you haven't yet listened to any of our medication talks, we really recommend. I believe it was titled.
I think it was just called medication.
Yeah. And we talk a lot about our histories and where we were then, and this is it's important, I think, to see the progress.
Yes. So
goes.
It has been about couple months now, I think, since I've been on Wellbutrin. I went from a 150 milligram standard, kind of low, extended release dosage to 300 milligrams in the last couple weeks. This is something that can happen when your psychiatrist is starting you out on a medication. If they're not seeing improvement or they're not seeing as much improvement as they would like, there's often going to be some sort of uppage. Adjustment is what it's called. And usually if you have a good psychiatrist, they'll do it while you are in the middle of having your most recent dosage. So if you would experience adverse side effects, you can go back to your previous dosage.
Yeah.
It may suck, but at least you have that option.
So it started off with you really loving it. I noticed when you were first, there was a few months there where we were all a little worried about Chris. He was getting to the point where not only was he just like, oh, I'm not feeling great. It was like, I don't even know why I'm alive. And that was every day. And his ups were so minute and so short-lived that they weren't enough. And we had some people contact us worrying about him. I contacted him multiple times throughout the week worrying about him. So I was really grateful that when you got on the meds at first, which tends to happen, by the way, if you're just trying out meds, you have a big up of energy, you notice a big shift, and it can feel like, oh, thank God. Is this what other people feel like?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I had that in spades of just like, oh, cool. This is what it used to feel like. I used to feel this kind of good, and it didn't bother me.
Yeah, and you had some like downs, but they weren't down.
They were just like, oh, it's kind of a bummer, but whatever.
Yeah. And then what happened?
So upon the uppage,
why did he up it?
He wasn't seeing the improvements that he'd wanted to see. Mainly, it was a lot of reassessing, going through and going, okay, so how. I'm seeing that it's kind of dipping again. I'm seeing your moods are going down. And
that's something else that happens. I was on a couple of antidepressants where at first it feels great, and then after a few weeks or a month or two, it's suddenly like you're going right back down again. And it really sucks.
Yeah.
It's very discouraging.
Which is why he upped the dosage, because I was going back down. Upon the first week of the adjustment, however, I wasn't experiencing any side effects from it that I had noticed until I doubled the dosage. I started feeling anxious. I started feeling kind of shaky. I started feeling very irritable. More than my usual. Like, everything irritated me. I snapped at coworkers and everything, where I was just like, I need you to back the fuck off right now, because I have no other choice other than, like,
blowing up.
Yeah. Because unlike I am much more in a fight or flight situation. I am very much a fight person. Yeah, as I have learned. I don't tend to back away from those situations. I tend to face them head on. So for a week there, I was experiencing absolutely constant fight or flight.
That's the worst feeling. I think a lot of society doesn't realize that when you're having anxiety, on the day-to-day, that it's not just like, oh, I'm anxious about some stuff, I'm uncomfortable. It's also leaking into, but I am in a constant state of either I'm going to react to you in a fight or I need to leave completely. I can't have a normal interaction with most things, and it sucks. It's exhausting. Exhausting for you to be around. And that's why you're so irritable also, I think, is just because you don't have any spoons. Because
No.
you're just trying to survive the day-to-day interaction.
No, I was also noticing myself disassociating more and spacing out a lot.
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, this last week in particular, I was in a particularly negative space. Right when I had my birthday, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. November, by the way, is typically not a really good month for me.
Why is that?
One, birthday. I'm now at an age where I don't like my birthday. Because now I'm 32, and it just is kind of another notch on the fucking wood of just, okay, cool, one step closer. And then on top of that, never really touched on this. November 13th is the anniversary of my dad's death. So that in and of itself also kind of sucks. It's not something I typically think on or even like acknowledge half of the time.
But it's in your body.
But it's there. Yeah, that
There's a subconscious memory, whether you're thinking about it or not.
Yeah, exactly. So I had that kind of double whammy of here's the anniversary of my dad's death, here's an adjustment in medication, here's my birthday, which I had a great birthday party the week before, and I enjoyed having that many people around. I felt loved and I felt, appreciated. And then immediately after it was done, it was just, oh, there went all point in existence. There went everything I was looking forward to. There went everything that I hoped for. There went another year of struggling and trying my damnedest to improve without actually seeing anything happen. So, I went to my therapist the day after my birthday, the day before Thanksgiving, and I had a whole sit-down talk with him and ultimately opened up about exactly how I was feeling, which was, I've just turned 32 and I don't particularly care if I hit 33. I don't actively want to die. I don't actively feel suicidal. I don't think I would actually do anything, but I definitely don't care. There's no purpose. There's just putting one foot in front of the other, continuously struggling, continuously trying for no point whatsoever. And it was funny because he was just like, so you're talking to your psychiatrist after this, right? And I was like, well, I mean, it is the Thanksgiving weekend, so I'll hit him up on the Monday after. I've had a few days since then now. Some ups, some downs. If you were to ask me how I felt today, how I feel right now, I don't particularly know. I have some things that I'm excited about, and some things that I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. There's going to be good things coming. But on the whole, I don't know. And that's, at the moment, okay. Because that's all I've got.
Yeah.
It could just be...
How's your anxiety, though?
Better. It's definitely better.
That's good.
I also haven't been at work for 4 days, so... I mean, that could be part of it.
A needed vacation.
Yeah, which I'm planning on taking another one towards the end of the year. Just driving places. That'll be nice, because we have, like, couple weeks off of work, and I'm like, okay, I'll take that advantage. I'll do something after Christmas. And maybe that'll be what I need. I don't know. I really don't know. So I just keep going.
So with the meds, have you listened to any of the podcasts or looked at any journal entries or anything before the meds and you feel like, well, they're still worth it? Or is it one of those things where it's like, I don't know if the meds are helping at all at this point?
So I've been using Mood Path, as we've been discussing, and at the current moment, if I look at my my guide here, I would say, and going back to August where I was at a lot of mids to lows, September when I started it, mids in the first week, and then a lot of positives. October, a lot of positives.
When did you start your meds?
I started in September, beginning of September.
Okay.
October, a lot of positives. November, a lot of positives with a couple really deep negatives. So I'm seeing, though, over the last week or so that it's starting to look a little more down. And
I think the difficulty that you have, and I mean you in general, is the general you, is when we're in the holidays, there's a lot of stuff that comes up, and it's hard to know. It's definitely difficult to understand, like, well, is this because of the holidays? Is this because of what's, like the death of my father's or my birthday, and that this Thanksgiving, and like, there's a lot of ups and downs that happens. It's like big ups where we're with a bunch of people and everyone's partying, and then you don't see anybody for days, and it's, I know I can struggle with that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely in that state of, I don't know which this is. Yeah. I don't know if this is completely medication. I don't know if this is environmental. I don't know if this is personal.
And that's one of the struggles with being on medication that I had as well, and it was a little bit of a heartbreak because I tried so many different things. I tried so many mixtures and and antidepressants and anti-anxieties and it always felt like I was in a constant whirlwind of refiguring out and recalibrating, along with the side effects, which can be extremely annoying and uncomfortable. So it's hard to make the choice. I'm glad that you're trying it and that we're able to talk about it.
Yes.
At least. That's good.
I think one of the other things that I've inadvertently found out is I'm also experiencing a lot of sleepiness.
Interesting.
Strangely enough, yeah, I'm getting really tired earlier and I'm sleeping in later. It's not exactly something I'm used to. I'm used to being able to be up at all hours and being, mostly an insomniac. So this is simultaneously welcome and worrying.
Do you feel well rested?
Yeah, no.
No.
I don't feel well rested at all. I feel exhausted constantly. So, my next scheduled appointment with my psychiatrist was going to be on the 14th. So 2 more weeks. I may have to just call him on Monday and go, hey, so this is what's going on. Should I go back? Should I stay on this until I see you? What are we doing?
Should I stay or should I? This I feel like is a good time to also give a shout out to the people who are supporting this podcast.
Yes, we want to thank our Patreon subscribers. We have 3 right now who are wonderful people. Thank you, Alicia, Esther, and Kevin.
Yeah, you guys, it makes a big difference to know that we have your guys' support, and it's just a little bit extra to help us with gas and with keeping up the websites and daily maintenance and things like that.
The website and the hosting in particular is where this is all going to, so we really appreciate that. But ultimately, I think, like, having this platform, being able to talk to you guys, hearing that, we're not alone, and knowing that you guys can tell that you're not alone either. I'm sure that many of our listeners have been through their own medication difficulties over the years, and they may not have, or they might not have realized that they needed to go on medication, and then they finally took the step after listening to us, which that still blows my mind a little bit. So you guys definitely are amazing, and thank you.
Thank you.
But
so where are you gonna go from here, Chris, with your meds? You gonna get in contact with him? You gonna continue on this one, or do you want to try and switch out?
I think I'm going to continue to ride this out. I'm going to call him on Monday, and I'm going to go, hey, this is what's happening. What do you think? Mm-hmm. And then he'll either say yes or no to going back, or maybe he wants to see me, or I don't know. We also did a minor test for ADD, which was hilarious, because I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I may as well, because I can't focus on shit. Or I focus on 5 different things at the same time.
Yeah, a ton of different things. I've gotten worse as an adult, and I was so funny you brought that up. I was thinking I should go in and see if I can get tested and maybe get something. I don't know if I want to be on something daily though.
That's gonna be the hard thing. Is
to the daily thing because it changes you.
Yeah, no, I don't want to mess with anything that futzes with my creative brain. Yeah, exactly.
And it does. It did for me anyway. It might not for everybody.
Depends on what the medication is also. Like, that's...
Yeah.
We'll find out more. Stay tuned for my continuing mental health adventures in psychiatry. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where things go. Hopefully things improve.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. It's the end of the year. I'm tired.
We made it through Thanksgiving, guys.
We did.
On to the next big, whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas.
Either way, you're going to be assaulted by Mariah Carey.
Get ready.
As for us, follow us on Instagram at HAYHU Podcast, like our Facebook page, subscribe to the subreddit. If you want to support us directly, visit our Patreon, or if you want to send us something directly, go ahead and email mailbag@howareyouholdingup.com.
I do have a little gift for you all. If you want to go onto YouTube and look up Toad singing All I Want for Christmas. I don't know if I've ever laughed that hard in my life. I was crying and choking and laughing hysterically. So, Toad singing All I Want for Christmas. It is an incredible channel. Going to link that in the show notes. For a little lull. Yeah. All right, guys. And as always, don't tell us to just get over it.